front pages of the key papers that we have: the People Daily, the Standard newspaper, and the Daily Nation. We start off with the People Daily. And relief as churches resume service. Faithful throng places of worship when they reopened after closure of a month. But, well, some of them are a bit skeptical because they say the moment the numbers start shooting up, the first entity that is to be closed is always the churches, and therefore they're really not excited about this, but they hope that the government will maintain that stance, and that is captured on page 6, as of course the cases of COVID-19 continue to shoot up in the country, at a very alarming rate, especially in Nairobi. And warnings are here out there for the Ministry of Health that we need to make sure that we continue to push on keeping the protocols as set, or the guidelines as set, so we're able to maintain, or we are able to stop the spread of COVID-19, or at least limit the spread of COVID-19. This, as of course it's time for Form 1 students to join a school. The 2nd of August is here. Parents are out there going to different parts of the country so that they can take their students to school. And as they would call it, an acid test, 1 million to join Form 1 amid fears of COVID-19. A story captured on page 2, and also amid fears of just how they're going to transition to the next class, with difficulties of us trying to manage to do it well when it comes to the aspect of competency-based curriculum. A story captured on page 2. We'll be having our reporters on ground, and Rin Kilemi will also be engaging the top student of the country just to see what her journey will be like at this point when she transitions to a very crucial point and a stage in her life as she joins Kenya High, as of course reports are out here. So Andrin will be with her all the way from Machakos County, where she hails from, and all the way to the next school that she gets to join, and we'll be giving you updates of all that, yes, as and when Andrin is ready to give us. Now, Uhuru men out to reunite NASAFO. This in regards to matters politics, as I started by saying, we wait to see whether these individuals are going to work together after crumbling down the outfit that they used during the 2017 general elections. As always, they would say, these outfits are always to take you to the next level, and once you realize that, well, they have not served the purpose, or they have served the purpose, then you drop them and wear different outfits. So peacekeeping emissaries have been sent to Osage, Mudavadi, Wetangula and Kalonzo, who are adamant that Raila should back one of them for presidency come 2022. Is he ready to let go of his interests? As many would have said, this then would be the ultimate last bullet for Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Story captured on page 4. We'll be looking at that, this even as the formation of One Kenya Alliance is out here. Gideon Moi yesterday declaring his interest for the top seat. Just who is going to shelve his interest for the sake of the others is a question of wait and see, as we also continue to prepare for 2022. And it was too close yet too far for Omanyala. Sprinter breaks national 100 meters record, but falls short of bagging a medal at the Olympics. Congratulations to him. He's done the country proud. The first one so far to bring this medal, even as we watch closely at the Olympics just to see what it is that our sportsmen and women are going to bring back home. We keep wishing them nothing but the best. Those are the key stories captured on the front page of the People Daily. We'll be having guests so that we can expound further with them as we get their view on these particular stories. But first, let's also look at what the Standard details. And yes, remember, it's the 2nd day of August. So on the Standard, Uhuru's plan to counter Hustler Nation. This is a story captured on page 5. It's still a bit of confusing aspect because it's not yet clear who President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to endorse for presidency, who is being shortchanged here. As of course they kickstarted the handshake processes. Many argued that, well, that was a way of trying to tame Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and in real sense it's not going to be all rosy. They were probably fixing him alongside his deputy, but we can only wait to see. But there's a plan he has captured on the Standard newspaper. We will get into details of the same as we proceed. This even as we saw what it is that the Jubilee leaders had to say in regards to, Jubilee holding together. COVID fears as Form 1 reports, or Form 1 students report to school, and it is evident that, schools have not been able to abide by the protocols as expected in terms of taming the spread of COVID-19, and therefore as Form 1 students join secondary schools, we can only wait and hope that, so much will be put in terms of making sure that we're able to protect our students. Ward representatives' conditions to Samboja, a story captured on page 27, that is on the county levels, and Granton Samboja, it's not all rosy, and ward representatives have some irreducible minimums that are presenting to them, and such has been the case across the different counties, as of course they are the guides of making sure that devolution then is a success in their respective particular counties. Uganda gets COVID jabs from China, a story captured on page 35. This even as we celebrate the first process of getting people to get jobs in Tanzania. We saw the president of Tanzania, Mama Samia Hassan Suluhu, also getting her job sometimes last week in what is considered historic after, of course, may his soul rest in eternal peace, John Pombe Magufuli remained adamant that maybe there was no COVID-19, and therefore decided that as a country, Tanzania will not go the same direction with the rest of the global fraternity as to this, and about turn that has been well embraced, not just in Tanzania, but across borders. On matter sports are leading the way, as we have rightfully put it. We can see our sportsmen right there, making us proud, and women, and we hope that indeed such is going to be the case. Jacob Kiplimo of Uganda and Ronex Kipruto of Kenya during the 10,000 meters Tokyo, that is 2020 Olympics. All the best to our sportsmen and women. And to politics, as captured on the Standard newspaper, Right Honorable Raila Odinga's shadow in Mudavadi Kalonzo plan. Now, former NASA leaders have moved on and are already working on a coalition agreement within One Kenya Alliance, even as pressure mounts from other leaders, including President Uhuru Kenyatta, to work with the ODM leader to form a formidable team that will face Ruto next year's poll. That is a story captured on page 4. The biggest question then is, why is it that it's all about facing Deputy President William Ruto as opposed to coming up with ways that will be friendly in terms of making life easy for the common mwananchi? Fears that plague Ugandan girls in cities' dark alleys. A majority of the girls are aged below 18 and get sold at Arapai market, that is in Uganda, to the highest bidder before finding their way to Nairobi. A story captured on page 10 and 11. Quite unfortunate, but as many of them would argue, and there was this piece that was making rounds, one of them was saying that, well, it appears that it's actually even better for them to come to work as house helps in Kenya, because the monies are way better than what it is that they get at home. And so normally they are sold so that they can be brought into the country, that is in Kenya, so that they are out there as house helps. But just how safe is it for these girls is a piece that you definitely do not want to miss out. Also, you can grab your copy and get to have the details of the same. The Daily Nation, briefly, whilst risk losing COVID-19 gains globally, cases have increased by 80%. That's quite unfortunate. A story captured on page 10. The cases have increased in the country, as I have earlier mentioned, and it is important that we are keen so that we do not reverse all these gains that we have made towards taming the spread of COVID-19, as we all understand the ramifications that have come with these unprecedented times. Abortive bombings that foiled a coup, 680 kilos of explosives were to be fired. Wow, that's a story captured on page 12. Quite an interesting piece there, but also an unfortunate one to beat. We can always grab your copy and get details of the same. We'll also be looking at it later on alongside my guests. The ultimate kingmaker, ODM pulled out of National Super Alliance amid talks with Jubilee to form a new coalition, and that is in the aspect of starting afresh. As we have said, a majority majority of them are keen to shake the Deputy President, conversation of the hustler nation and build as the third force in the 2022 election. Well, after Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga, the One Kenya Alliance of Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula and Gideon Moi could also make up the swing vote. A story captured on page 4. We'll be having this conversation later on. Remember, more of the conversation will be building around the political scenario in the country. Omanyala sprints his way to fame. Ferdinand Omurwa, that is yesterday made history as the first Kenyan to reach the 100-meter semi-finals at the Olympic Games. That is in Tokyo, Japan. And away from it, bursary woes for parents as Form 1s report to school today. Form 1 students will report to school beginning today amid the woes of bursaries across the country, challenges that might see bright but needy students miss a chance at an education. Well, that's pretty much unfortunate, and parents continue to hope that they will be able to secure assistance for their children from the various bursary and scholarship schemes in the country or run by members of parliament at county governments. We all hope that, well, no student will miss school because of school fees, because of the fact that they do not have uniform, and though so much more. Death probe, detectives to test engineers' last meal of ugali and fish. Detectives in the incident where a 50-year-old man died in Maragua lodging, are investigating a possibility that he was poisoned and framed to have overshot himself with 6 enhancement drugs. The story captured on page 8. These cases are out here. Clarion call is that we are always supposed to be keen, one, with the people that we hang around. It's really, really important because these cases are definitely on the rise. Investigative bodies are on it, and therefore, in case of any developments, we'll also be here to make sure that you are updated. Those are the key stories captured on the papers. As I have said, we'll be looking at them later on extensively, having a comprehensive look alongside my guests. That aside, over 1 million learners, are expected to join